Hey guys, long time no see. So I initially wanted this video to come out back in March or so when I did my first head mold, but that one didn't turn out too well, as you'll see later in the video. So I saved up a little bit more money and bought like a head casting kit that worked out a little bit better than here. What you see here is my initial casting idea. So I had this box that would fit around my head. I would breathe through this little boba straw and fill the box with alginate mold, and it actually worked out pretty good, but I didn't get enough alginate mold nor the plaster to fill it with. So I felt pretty bummed about it after it failed. So I just waited a couple months, saved up a little bit of money, and got a head casting kit online, which I will show you later in the video. And yeah, so here's the stand for my head. I just got this piece of wood from Home Depot and measured it accordingly to my head size. Just made sure it was a little bit bigger by a couple inches width-wise, just so it would be nice and sturdy once I do cast my head. You know, I didn't want anything that would be too wobbly or too weak. Want to make sure I have a sturdy base so that I can make a pretty good use out of this head mold once it's casted. So here I staggered the screws so they wouldn't bump into each other, and yeah, came out pretty good. And then here I installed the 4 vertical columns that would actually go into the neck portion of my casted head. And I'm just putting pilot holes in just to make it a little easier to put all these pieces in. So once I got all the 4 columns in, I wanted to make sure that they wouldn't stick out of my neck or anything like that once my head's casted. So I actually bent them in and made it a little more narrow, which did cause some warping on the initial base, which I had to fix. See, as you can see here, it's kind of wobbling already. And the countersunk screws were sticking out from the base just a little bit. So I had some of this craft foam sheet that you can buy from Walmart. I had this laying around from a previous project. So I decided that I could cut some of this sheet, put it on the base, keep it from slipping and keep it from tilting. So it's kind of 2 birds, 1 stone kind of deal. So I just traced it, cut it with a little knife, and then hot glued all the foam cushions on the base. And I had to make sure I pushed it in real tight because the first time I put it on there, it didn't stick very well, so I had to do it over again. And even once I did put these cushions on the base, it was still a little bit wobbly, so I just took a little bit extra of the foam sheet material and put it on the tilting edges and just kind of filled those gaps a little bit, and that helped out quite a bit. So yep, fixed the tilting problem and keeps it from slipping too much, making sure I have a pretty good foundation for my head mold. So just testing out the box, making sure that the neck portion does fit in pretty well, prepping ahead, making sure that there won't be any issues. But when I actually casted my head, I had my sister help me out here. She was pouring in the alginate mold. Everything was going pretty good so far, but like I said, right about the last 1/4 inch or so, there wasn't enough material to cover my head. So just tried to take it off and give it a shot, but it did not work out. It made a big old mess. So here is what I ordered online. It's the AccuCast head casting kit, and it worked really well. Had my wife help me out. Just plaster bandage your whole head pretty much. And here you can see I put a weight on the headstand, shoved it into the plastered part, and here's my head removed from all the plaster bandages. And it came out pretty good. I didn't need it perfectly detailed or anything like that. I just needed an approximate locations of where my eyes, nose, and mouth, ears, and so on would be. Yeah, there's a couple little wrinkles on the back from the bald cap, but I can just shave it down later. But you can see kind of where my ear is, my facial features. So yeah, it came out pretty good. And once I casted it, I just left it out in the sun for about a week and it dried out. Yeah, hopefully you'll see what I'll do with it in the next video when I start making a mold of my helmet and putting all the circuits together. Alright, well that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.